damn good. Like, I know this seems like a really over-eager way to react to 25 minutes of 4 people talking. That's essentially what this week's episode of Vanguard was. It was just our characters talking, but holy God, it was great! Oh, Jesus. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to me excited to watch this show again. Like, man, this was really damn good. And most importantly, this episode felt like an apology. This episode felt like they were saying sorry for every dumb thing this franchise has done over the years, including last season. Because the way everything was executed in this episode just took a lot of the usual problems this franchise has had, and a lot of problems you see in a lot of anime kind of similar to this, and just were like, nah, we're doing this right. We are doing this! First up, do we really need the weird sort of reintroduction to everything? It's been a week. I always find it weird in these kind of never-ending toy commercial shonen-y type shows, and I know this one is arguably not a shonen, but at least in the same way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. But I always find it weird when they took no time off between seasons and they still treat it like they did. I don't know, that's just a personal thing, but I think giving everyone a little introduction kind of worked out for where things went a little later, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first thing we gotta talk about, the way they handle sort of addressing the missing elephant in the room. Oh God, it's beautiful. The way they handle the memory subplot in this is great, because what they do is you see that something is wrong. Something is clearly wrong, and everything is based around what would actually happen if a person just disappeared out of your life like that. If all memory was erased, it would have ripple effects. It would have a big impact, and there would be that feeling of loneliness. I really loved the way they would constantly cut to the shot of Korin's hair thing, I can't think of words right now, on Masaki's arm, the way they would cut to that, and then you have, like, Aichi feeling like something is off, like he feels like he wants to extra win, like, just this latent feeling that something isn't right. It's really good in the way they handle it. And also, so I should probably explain why I can't stand memory erase subplots so much. Cardfight Vanguard, the original Season 2, is one of the worst offenders I've ever seen, but there's countless other examples of how it gets done wrong. And the reason for that is I'm not against the concept of messing with people's memories. As I've stated several times before, things involving cerebral plots really creep me out. So I think it can be used very effectively, but what is it always? It's always, oh my God, big crazy shit happened, and like, now I know stuff. Oh wait, we can't have that happening. Yeah. We spent 3 or 4 episodes, you the viewer, being really invested because all this shit has happened, but we need status quo back. So what happens? Oh, they tripped on a rock. Oh, this person can erase memories. Oh, this, that, and it never ends up coming back into it. You just waste our time, and when you do that, you take away a lot of our ability to invest in the story, because, again, it's sort of one of those things where it's like, these are fictional characters. This is not real. Its ability to make us care about them is so heavily based on how much we want to keep following their story and following their adventure, and when that can be taken away so easily as by just like, oops, I did that thing where you kick a rake and like it hits you. If that's like as low as your stakes can get, like that ruins it, and it's done time and time again, but not here, because Korin being gone and what that does is the point. The idea of losing someone is the point. What that does to you is the idea. And sort of seeing as they struggle to try and figure out what's wrong is just, oh, it's so good. I just loved watching it. Then we move on. Let's see, just the things they did to sort of like show what will be different. Well, they can't have the club anymore, cause, well, where's Korn's name? Well, they know, we had to have had 5 members because we got officially approved, and why does the Korn singer seem different? And all these little things, like, are just the logical things that would happen. There's no big extreme thing like Brant is coming and everyone's a Psyqualia zombie. No, it's the reasonable common sense things that would happen. The little things like, why does Misaki have that on her arm? How did we get to be a club in the first place? All of this is real interesting, and I love that they find a reason to have it that they all need the club back working right, and they need to get to the Koshin without having to jump the gun and make them remember Korn quickly. In Season 2, when they did everything with the Gold Paladin, part of the reason it's handled so terribly is because the rules of it don't make sense. So I'm willing to accept that Aichi could keep his memory of Blaster Blade because of his Psyqualia. Well, then how come Ren can't keep his? And if anyone starts going on with fan theories like, oh, Ren lost his Psyqualia at the end of Season 1. They didn't say that. It didn't happen. Shut up! Unless you have, like, an actual, like, really good fan theory that makes sense, then go for it. But I'm sick of that Ren lost his Psyqualia bullshit. But then it's like, so Kai, who in the original Vanguard is not a special person at all, he is a normal guy who is just good at Vanguard, can remember Blaster Blade. Can Aichi do that with Misaki and Kamui? Should he do that with Misaki and Kamui? There's all this crap left up in the air, and because Aichi's only motivation to give our plot drama is his desire for Blaster Blade, like, it doesn't really have a chance to feel right. If maybe Aichi didn't remember Blaster Blade and you can play up what they're doing this time, then you would have maybe had a better story. Probably not. There were a lot of other problems there. We've talked about that in the past, but it would have helped. And here, it definitely worked. Like, you just get to see the natural emotion, and it brings us back to what is really great about the show. Just watching these characters interact. I loved all the little comedy bits between everybody. Like, I loved them trying to get club members. I loved Naoki and Misaki scaring people. I mean, it's Misaki. She can pin me against a wall, choke me, and kick my scrotum any day. But that all was just a lot of fun, and oh my god, the scene with the student council. I really cracked up. So I assumed this would be like in the original Vanguard. They're just bullies, they're assholes, they just hate Vanguard because of course they do. No, that's not what's happening here at all. It's actually something you can kind of see happening. It's they don't want to spend the money for them to travel, so that way they can keep having expensive ice cream as a snack. That is fucking hilarious, because I think deep down we all felt like that what was going on at our clubs in high school. So then you get Dark Irregular Guy, and I don't remember really if I liked this guy's filler episode in the original. Probably not, but this was good, because there was just such a, minus the obvious drama aspects, there was this fun lightheartedness to the episode. And I think we kind of needed that after so much forced plot in the previous season. To just get some fun time with fun characters really works. And I just love how sort of over the top he was. I love everyone's sort of reaction. Just like, what the fuck? That was funny, and like the whole bit where he got to make his club real and they didn't, and then that didn't work out. It was just really good. It actually was just fun to watch. Remember that? Remember just having fun watching something? So yeah, that was great. And then last thing we got to talk about, Kai and his loss to Morikawa. Now, I just watched this episode now, a day after the fact. When Kai lost, my Vanguard group chat him and was like, holy shit, Kai lost to Morikawa, what's happening in the world? Again, not real people, it doesn't matter. But I thought that was really cool. I know that in the manga, the last real fight is Aichi and crew versus Kai and crew or something, I don't know. But so yeah, obviously we'll get to that eventually, as we're technically off book, but we do have some intersection points, and they make sense in the story, so it works. But you have, Morikawa beats Kai, And at first I thought, oh, it's going to be played up as a joke, because this episode is much more lighthearted in tone. But it's not a joke. Like, when you see Kai and how, like, bad he feels after the fight, like, that smile he gives, like, that is the opposite of a smile. It just tells you this guy is not right at the moment. That's way better than anything I think they did with Ibuki in the last arc. So yeah, that was really good, and I think it is a fairly logical way to get everyone in the same place at the same time for the Koshin. So yeah, this was really fucking good. Like, I like this a lot. Anything else? Oh, new OP and ED. Yu-Gi-Oh! Give us a new OP. But I like this OP and ED. I like the urgency and intensity of the OP. I like the idea that the center focus is, we gotta do something. And my boy Azel the villain? That could be kind of cool. I know I should be like, no, Azel, my avatar, no! But screw it, like, let's do this. Let's make Azel evil. I want it, damn it. Edie is also pretty good. At least it's not waifu and husbando based, which just kind of feels awkward after a while. But anyways, yeah, that was this week's Cardfight Vanguard episode. If you couldn't tell, I fucking loved it. This was great. I'm really excited for whatever sort of goofy shenanigans happen next week with this sort of mini tournament they got going on. This is fun. I'm excited. But tell me what you thought in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts on this episode, next episode, what you thought of all of this. Oh, and Vanguard question of the week. Bermuda! Bermuda is here, and it's pretty fucking OP in standard. Will you be going down the mermaid waifu route, or would you just rather skip this, considering we know all our clans are getting support in the near future, and some of it might get expensive? This is card games after all. Tell me that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for more awesome shit.